Semi-final number 2 is underway. Filipe Toledo up against Julian Wilson. Filipe dropping 10-point rides all over the place in this event. Julian Wilson, he's had one of his own too, looking very sharp. This should be an epic battle. Julian, a former finalist here at jbay in his semi-final last season. Filipe on his way to his best finish in this contest.
By Filipe was incredible. Take a look here, the first wave of this event, or this heat, semifinal number 2, Julian Wilson finding the barrel on the outside section. Good start to this wave. And of course now finally, can he get around it? He will. But the unfortunate problem here, a little stumble on the bottom turn. And that puts him late to the lip and he goes down.
Get to cash in on one of these set lines. Filipe is actually swinging on this one. It's a good size wave for Filipe, one that will allow him complete freedom when he starts to decide which moves he wants to go for. Long drawn out bottom turn into a clean arc to get started. Up into the pocket. Couple of nice little layback jams. Still looking for those high impact major turns. They're going to fetch those excellent scores. And there is one of them. Great style as he looks to set up a pit on the inside. Finds some cover, punches through that curtain and kicks out.
Good ride for Filipe there.
Impressive, obviously, but that was a pretty cruisy ride for Filipe.
It was, you know, but mistake-free. Had a nice, healthy bag of tricks of mixing it up. The down carve, not committing too much, because you know, if you really commit to those turns, you could get left behind. You know, Filipe, no problems though, getting out in front of this wall. Beautiful turn there. That was the turn of the wave, and I think that's where you're going to see this wave probably go into the exit range by the virtue of that turn and the ability to mix it up, getting the little barrels.
It's going to be an excellent number, but from what we've seen in this event, so many perfect waves, 9-point rides should be on the cards in this exchange.
You would say so, but this one didn't look like they wanted anything but just a cruise.
Here we go, Filipe's up, an 8.17 on his first wave. Really hammering down the line now. There's a big hit. Maintains enough speed to get back out in front. Smashing through the lip. But he overdoes it on the inside, just a rare error. He's been so good at doing that mistake-free surfing from the top right through to the bottom.
Let alone having to surf all these heats. So, I mean, it'll come into play. I don't know if it's totally fatigue, but he doesn't look like it. He doesn't look tired. A couple nice turns here, you know, just pushing it, knowing it's a smaller wave. So, again, probably trying to give a little extra into it. And you'd have to appreciate that. Just there, the carve, you know, just a little sloppy, but I think he can turn this one out.
Just his back foot slips off here, Pete. He's pushing so hard.
Well, look, he's got that same technique. Wide. I mean, this is the wave that you see. Just a bit of a mistake, pushing a little bit too hard. The board goes flat.
You can see these big, beautiful lines from the beach and out in the water. You can see them actually coming onto each other. So I feel like this could be a new swell. Has just arrived. Look at Julian just blazing out of the back, absolutely crushing through the lip. Look at this wave. He's got a perfect pace for him. He's just going to come into his own on the inside there. This wave is just perfect. And the waves are just coming down the point at a perfect size right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to get around that one as he pumps. Oh, and he comes unstuck. So these waves at a perfect size for jbay, I think. These waves that are standing up on the reef like these waves are doing now. So perfect size for jbay. Look at Toledo.
Here he goes, drawing off the bottom. Smooth slice to get started. Julian Wilson's going to get himself back in the heat with his last ride. But Filipe now looking to get rid of a 4.33. Pulls into the barrel. High line exit. He can get so compact for those pits as he drives up into the bowl, transitioning down the line out of that last turn to maintain some speed for a big finish, and he'll get it there.
Well, there you go. He's going to back up the 8.17 with another solid score. Wasn't all the way on the outside. Pretty far, though. I mean, it was definitely on the corner where you take off, but then solid turns. So smart surfing here. You know, this is halfway through the heat. You know you want to get your 2 scores early, so then you can be a little bit more selective, but I love that transition into the barrel. Super small in the beginning of it, but it opens up nicely. And then, of course, completing the ride. We've seen how important that is by the judges in the scores. You've got to finish.
Even Mick Fanning saying on yesterday's post-show, Filipe, there isn't anyone faster, and some of that speed on show through that ride, even in transition, Pete, he's able to really commit to his turns and generate some, I think, solid numbers, even in transition.
Agreed. You know, I think that it is important, especially here at this venue, that, you know, coming out of your maneuvers, committing in finishing the maneuver, but then coming out and getting back down the line and not missing a beat, which is what Filipe has done. I mean, he makes it look really easy. That turn there, jamming the tail up into the lip with all this wind, tight little pocket, then just opens up. He's been able to just read the wave so well and just do the moves, get the barrels. You know, he hasn't shown any innovation today, but it's going to be nearly impossible.
The rail deep into the face is lost, so Julian needs to get himself on a wave similar in size to the one that Filipe's just ridden, I think, and then he can really do his best. Here he goes. Another bigger wave driving down the line. Let's see if this thing opens up for him. Just hanging back, letting the wave do its thing. It's starting to bowl up on the inside. Julian finds some cover, but he gets enveloped and can't find his way through. That means Julian is comboed, and during the break, Filipe added this one to the mix.
Again, nice big set. Hard to turn your nose up to any of these waves. And look at these carves. Filipe adjusting so well. Look at it. I mean, his wave choice too has given him the opportunity to do the turns on those outside sections. You know, the inside letting him down a little bit, but he stays with it. And again, just jamming those turns. And he'll kick out, but the outside moves, incredible. This is that inside section that somewhat let him down, but he'll find a way to make a little jam in there. I like the new hairstyle. Let's take a look here at his technique, but all that wind going up the face, it accelerates up the face and carves right through it. I mean, I love the way his equipment, the sharp eye, has just been on point out here. Again, you see how he can bend his knees in all different ways. He'll bring it in and knock it and release the fins. He'll straighten it out, that front leg completely extended.
Shape after breaking his first preference after a 10-point ride.
Well, why don't you call this wave? We'll talk about it.
All right, here he goes. Julian lets the tail go on that first move. It's a good size wave for just taking it apart. And Julian looks to line up this section. So surfing right over the top of the falling wave at the moment and getting out in front of it now. There's a solid hit. This wave might help him in his quest to break combination if he can punch through this barrel just a little too deep. And with just under 7 minutes to go, it's going to be very difficult now to fight his way out of combination.
You know, it's not much longer, I think, but it's just if you look at the tail shape, it's much better. So there's the release. That's the shortboard where he gets that ability to a little extra area in the tail. So he's looking, you know, again, for a point of difference, and that shortboard will give it to him. Late hit there.
I was just about to say, the board looks incredible on this wave.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it is, and that's what the shortboard will do. But, you know, out on the face on those bigger waves, it's hard to really dig in that rail.
At the moment, a couple of excellent scores on the board, an 8.3 and an 8.33 for Filipe.
Well, there you go. That was exactly what Sean was talking about, like locking eyes with Julian as he's taking off on the wave. There's all sorts of ways to win heats. A bit too big this morning, but it is right on the cusp. Perfect.
I love jbay at this size. The wall is a lot more workable. The surfers don't have to nurse it, as seen right there from Filipe as he buries those rails. and drives through for some big turns. Now looking to set up a run through this barreling inside. Impossible section that's been not so impossible with the quality of the sandbar. He tucks in, he's going to find his way through this one. Takes that low road. Says thank you very much. A little awkward on the kick out dismount, but it's going to be a good score. Right behind him, Julian Wilson tucks in. But his wave just not as round. It clamped up a little bit. Julian got caught inside.
Wow.
But Filipe is pacing himself at the moment. You look at his last 3 heat performances, 18 points plus, a couple of heats into the 19-point range. But on this wave, that first turn was so solid.
He's back into the 9s once again. It's if you were to look at the scale set, 2 beautiful turns on the outside, but then, oh, look what we got on the inside section. 1 barrel. Very fast, and then look at this section. It just opens up and through impossible. Nice and hollow. That's the type of wave you don't get very often. But today, they're there, and he just found one. Look at this from the water. Tucks in nice and tight, but then the next section goes open all the way and around. The wind really helping that.
jbay's been so good this year, especially with the barrel rods. Just over a minute to go here, though, and I don't think it's going to matter.
No, it isn't going to matter, but you know, look at this turn. Now that's commitment. When he gets that hips and board at the same level, I mean, just pushing it as hard as you can, and the board just holding through that turn.
Buries his rail with the best of them. That was a huge turn on that last ride. I thought that was going to go into his top 2, guaranteed, but
it just goes to show that size really, truly doesn't matter in regards to the technique in order to show power.
I actually think it does matter. That's what I'm saying. He's added that muscle, and as a result, those turns are so much bigger now.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I think that he's always kind of been working on it. But yeah, you're right. A little extra weight. But I think the strength that comes with it.
Well, a great performance once again here, Pete. And we are getting set for what will be an epic final as Julian finishes off. Another very impressive finish here at jbay. Another semi-final. And he has been one of the final 4 for a few years now, even the final 2. So he's really developing a great relationship with this location.
Because he's able to perform at each and every venue from start to finish. And here he is at jbay continuing his role into the semis.
Well, he's making up some ground on those title front runners with this semi-final result. But this man, Filipe Toledo, is going to be so hard to stop. He's going to be taking on Frederico Moraes in what is sure to be a memorable final.